Hey guys, we're here for another video tutorial, very basic video on how to do the central locking on an 80 series cruiser. Obviously to start you're going to need yourself a locking kit, which you can get very cheaply off eBay or Amazon these days for about $50–$60 roughly. Some are cheaper, but I would suggest not going for the cheap options. They will probably break fairly quickly. Try go a little bit more upmarket. I actually spent about $60–$70 for this one here, and so far proving okay. You'll lock, unlock, and yeah, so far so no problems with it. The issue I have with this one is it's only set up to do the driver's door. So I'm going to continue removing the trim on this door to show you what we're contending with. And obviously with that I'm going to attempt how to actually make it work for all four doors in the car. In order to do that, there's a slightly different setup to just, if I hit this now, that turns unlock, lock. The door switch here, of course, does all the doors, and actually that's how I want it to happen, so I'm not just having to unlock the driver's door, come in, push this to unlock all fours for any passengers to get in. So we're going to have a look at how to do that, but of course I'll show you, if you are interested in just how to wire up for the driver's door, which is very simple, I'll show you how to do that primarily. So we'll get stuck into it. Okay, stage two, how to remove the door trim. For anybody who doesn't know how to do this, is quite a simple task. You're just going to need a flathead screwdriver and a Phillips screw driver. Obviously with the, sorry, you can see, here we go, with the flathead, you just need to get underneath the armrest part of here, and you just need to pop it. There's just some clips, retainer clips are holding it in place. Once you've popped it off, pretty simple. Pull the little leather or cloth trim depending on what you have. You'll need a Phillips head screwdriver to get to this screw, and this will allow this to actually detach from within the door frame. Same deal with your master switch for your windows and locking mechanism. Just pop, same thing, get your flathead under there. Be gentle guys, don't want to cut in, dig into your trim too much obviously. But yeah, click that up, and of course you'll have your wiring harness mechanism, and once you get in there you just pinch the clip, pop that out, and then you'll be able to push this wiring harness back through into the door space, and you'll be able to pull out the switch mechanism, and we'll be putting that back in when we're done. There's also a hidden little screw up here in the handrest here, handrest, whatever you want to call it. Phillips head, get in there, remove that sucker, and you're pretty well good to go. And oh, just missing one more Phillips head as well. Mine seems to be missing. I forgot to put it back on before, but anyway, take the Phillips head out of there, and then you can pop this sucker out. Alright, just open the door, pull it out. I've only got one hand, and then you're ready to just start popping the trim. They're just little popping retainer clips that run all the way around the edge. Just gently, one by one, just pop them out, and then of course from the top here you just lift the trim off. Okay, just be gentle, make sure nothing's still caught. It's pretty simple, you should be able to work it out, and then we'll get stuck into the central locking kit. Alright, so guys, step two, this is how you wire it up so that its remote locking kit is unlocking the driver's side door, and it's pretty straightforward. We'll start with the sending unit down here, this box here. So this obviously runs a remote antenna wire which collects the signal from the remote. You can't see it from here, but it's just down there, just tucked down. And there's also a plug with multiple wires of multiple colours like these. And this is that's the wiring harness you get with it. There's meters of this stuff, which if you've already got central locking you will not need to utilise. You'll only need to utilise the 5 closest wires, which once plugged into here and it runs into that big wiring loom, there'll be cords that run off the 5 of them. You'll see they're actually tapped off together. There should be a green, a white, a brown, a black and a blue, and these are the guys that run, continue to run. Make sure they're nice and deep in the door arch. Run them up the side and into this unit here. Now this is the unit mechanism that actually controls the remote, which I'll demonstrate for you. In order to lock, I click that button, this will engage and close, unlock likewise, and you'll see it actually unlocks the doors accordingly. It's pretty straightforward. Now you'll need to push the metal rod that comes with the system and mount it onto the top. And just try and keep it as level as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just fairly level. making sure that when it's at its closest, which will be during the unlock phase, you'll notice how close it gets to this clip here. So just make sure that when you do mount it on this section here, you don't mount it too close to this clip, or it's going to bang into that clip and it's not going to unlock or lock properly. Something just to be mindful of when you do install it. These brackets here, I've just put them there myself, and I've put it in this sort of void space here where it's out of the road of the window coming up and down. And there's not really much to it really, you'll get all these with the kit, and I've just mounted mine in this way, tapping into a hole here and down here, and it's fairly secure. And really that's it. Now, to get the power source working, this thing here is going to need a constant 12 volt power source. You have to find a constant. It's no good mounting this to an ACC current or something like you can see here, which would require the car to either be on or the stereo to be on or some sorts. You need it to be available power at all times. I've actually utilised, in this case, I've run a weatherproof cord through here and under the next to the hinge here where there's plenty of room, through the back of the panel, under the carpet and the trim here, and into a wire, and I've actually mounted some clips, and I've just secured a bit of tape around here for now. I'm going to tidy this up properly and utilise the floor mount power for the electric seats. Now these are manual seats. I've gotten rid of the auto ones because the auto ones, the motors are ridiculously expensive, continually blow, and of course the seats often get stuck when the gears strip, and there's lots of problems with the electric seats. So I've done away with them and gone for some comfortable sheepskin manual seats. Anyway, that's how I've actually got my constant power source. There's many different ways you can do this. You can tap into some of the constants that might be located up in the instruments behind the dash somewhere, and of course if you're wanting to use the hazard lights, when you click and you want all four hazard lights to come on, then you obviously need to tap into the hazard light power, which will be a wire run down somewhere into near the steering column here behind the dash. Depends what you want. It's really just for looks, but to keep it simple, this is what I've done, and this suits me fine. So you just need to unlock, and when you get in the car you press your door unlock button to unlock the rest of them, and of course if you want to lock them you just do the same thing that way. Now guys, I was hoping to attempt at mounting another one of these units, such as this one here, which is one of the subsequent doors. Don't need it because these cars already have central locking, but I was going to try and utilise this one to make it that when I click unlock, all four doors go, but unfortunately I can't because there is an electronic unit behind here which I can't get to easily enough, and it's too much hassle, and it needs to be an electronic. There's no point using a manual rod unlock like this one here. You're going to need to use a remote, a wire that sends a signal which triggers this thing to trigger all four locks, including the driver's door to unlock. So I'm not going to go there, it's not worth it. So this is how you do it for the driver's door. Hopefully this helps some of you.